We are studying the book The Self Culture in the Light of the Ancient Wisdom, written by I.K. Taimini. In this book, we are studying the chapter 4, The Functions of the Physical Body. Today, we have come to the end of this chapter. Before studying what is there in the end of this chapter, let us recall whatever we have understood so far in this chapter. I.K. Taimini says, the whole problem of self culture consisted partly in bringing to perfection the various vehicles of consciousness which the Jivatma uses on the different planes. The outermost and the densest of all these vehicles is the physical body. And this physical body is the first to be organized and perfected because we have to move from the known to the unknown because it is always better and natural way and right method of attacking any subject. And he also says the proper attitude to adapt toward the physical body is to consider it as an instrument of the soul for its work on the physical plane. The we should understand the physical body is the nature and the functions of this body for its for making it a sensitive and strong instrument for the work of the jivatma. He also explains what is the use of understanding this internal structure of this physical body. He says the most important result of this knowledge of the internal structure of the physical body is that it enables us more easily to objectify it, that is, see it as something different from ourselves, and to realize that it is only an instrument and not ourselves. And he explains what is the use of the functions of physical body. See, what is the use of realizing the function of the physical body? He explains. He says, with the help of this instrument, that is, with the physical body, the Jivatma comes in contact with the physical plane. It enables a Jivatma on one hand to come in touch with the physical plane, on the other hand, it brings about changes in the objects of the phenomena of that plane. With the help of the Jnanendriyas, the soul gains knowledge of the physical plane, and with the help of the Karmendriyas, it brings about changes in the outer world. And he also explains how this happens. From the physical world, from the physical world, the physical body catches the vibrations of light, sound, etc. through the sense organs and carries these vibrations inwards, thus making it possible for the Jivatma to cognize the various objects of the physical world. From the Jivatma seated within, it receives motor impulses and thoughts, and through the organs of action, it transmits these motor impulses and thoughts to the outer world. And he also explains we now come to a very important constitution made by occultism to the understanding of the constitution of the physical body. The etheric double. The etheric double, as it is called in occult literature, or pranamaya kosha in Vedantic terminology, the dense physical body or the annamaya kosha, which we can see with our eyes, is composed of the matter belonging to the three lower subplanes of the physical plane, the solid, liquid, and gaseous matter. Besides these three subplanes of the physical plane, there are four other subplanes, subtler than and interpenetrating the solid, liquid, and gaseous matter. The matter belonging to these four finer grades of matter enters into the composition of a subtler counterpart of the physical body. He also explains why it is called as etheric double, etheric and etheric double. The etheric double, as it is called, etheric because these four finer grades of matter are referred to as ethers. Double because This subtler vehicle is the exact counterpart of the dense physical body, though it projects out from the dense body about 3 inches on all sides. Now he explains what is the function of the etheric double. The function of the etheric double is to serve as the vehicle of prana. Prana is the specialized energy. Prana is the specialized energy which, in its various modifications, keeps going and regulates the activities of the physical plane. This energy is obtained from the sun, broken up by the chakra situated near the spleen into its constituents, and then the currents of these different kinds of prana are carried to different parts of the body along well marked channels to do their specialized work in those parts. It is this vitality which is obtained from the sun and specialized for its purpose, for its use by the etheric double, which is the source of all those vital forces needed for the maintenance of the physical body. Now we have come to the end of the chapter. Let us see what he is going to explain in the rest of the chapter. While we are dealing with the constitution of the physical body, it is also necessary to refer to the functions of certain organs and centers which are mentioned frequently in occult literature in connection with this body. These organs play an important and increasing, ever increasing part in the last stages of human evolution, when the communication between the lower and the higher consciousness becomes more and more marked, and the physical body becomes merely an instrument of the higher self. Let us take first the two well known organs, the pineal gland and the pituitary body, which are situated within the brain, and about the real functions of which physiologists know very little. Both these organs are supposed to be rudimentary by biologists, as having played their part in the previous stages of evolution, and in the present stage playing a minor role of supplying certain secretions for the growth and maintenance of the physical body. The real function of these organs, the real functions of these organs, which will be of the greatest importance in the future stages of human evolution, is known only to occultists. The pituitary body is the organ which serves as a valve for the transmission of vibrations belonging to the planes of buddhi and higher mind into the physical brain. I'll read out once again. The pituitary body is the organ which serves as a valve for the transmission of vibrations belonging to the planes of buddhi and higher mind into the physical brain. And its vivification forms part of the training which every advanced student of practical occultism has to go through. Now, the physical gland is the organ of thought transference, and its vivification enables a man to send any thought from his brain to another, brain to that of another. We may also deal here very briefly the function of chakras, about which we read so much in the literature dealing with yoga. If the etheric double is examined by clairvoyant sight, there are seen to be situated in it at different points vortices in which matter is churning round and round with great rapidity. These vortices have a shining appearance and seem to be divided into a different number of colored segments which are called petals. These vortices are called chakras in yogic terminology and serve as points of contact between the physical and astral vehicles. At these points, various kinds of forces enter from the astral into the physical body, and the peculiar churning motion observed is due to this rapid influx forces which will well up from higher dimension. These chakras have several functions, One of the most important of these functions being that they serve as a bridge for consciousness. Their vivification, their vivification enabling us to establish direct communication between the physical and the astral planes. When these chakras are vivified and made active, astral clairvoyance is developed and becomes possible to bring down into the brain clear and correct memory of all the experiences gone through on the astral plane. Then, for all practical purposes, the two planes become as one, as part of the waking consciousness. The vivification of these chakras is brought about with the help of Kundalini, that mysterious force which has its seat at the base of the spine and plays an important part in yogic practice. By going through the techniques of certain yogic practices, which should never be attempted except under the direct guidance of a competent teacher, this force is aroused and made to pass upwards along the Shushumna, as the inner passage in the spinal column is called. As this Kundalini passes through the chakras one after another, it vivifies them and enables the candidate to come into touch with the astral plane. But all such practices are undertaken in the last stages of the path of discipleship, which leads to enlightenment. And no novice can dabble in these things except at great peril to his physical body. In these last four paragraphs of this chapter, The Functions of the Physical Body, I.K. Taiminiji is explaining us the certain organs, what is the necessary to understand the functions of certain organs, and he also explains the function of the chakras and how to activate or vivify these glands, and what happens when we vivify these organs and chakras. He also explains. Let us see what summarize in the last what he has told in the last chapter, in the last part of the chapter. He says, knowing along with the constitution of the physical body, it is also necessary to understand the functions of certain organs and centers. These organs play a very important role in the last stages of human evolution, when the communication between the higher and the lower consciousness becomes more and more marked, and the physical body becomes merely an instrument of the higher self. So he explains about the pineal gland and the pituitary gland, which are situated in the brain. See, these things have played, these two organs have played a very important part in the previous stages of evolution, but at the present stage, these organs are uh, playing a role of supplying certain secretions for the growth and maintenance of the physical body. The real functions of these organs, with which will be of the greatest importance in the future stages of human evolution, is known only to the occultists. The pituitary body is the organ which serves as a valve. It acts as a valve for the transmission of vibrations belonging to the planes of buddhi and higher mind into the physical brain. The pituitary body serves as the valve for the transmission of vibrations belonging to the planes of buddhi and higher mind into the physical brain. Its vivification, the vivification of the pineal body, forms part of the training which every advanced student of practical occultism has to go through. A student of occultism has to vivify this pituitary body. The pineal gland is the organ of thought transference. The pineal gland acts as a serve as a thought transference. And its vivification, what happens if we vivify the pineal gland? Its vivification enables a man to send any thought from his brain to that of another. If we vivify the pineal gland, we can transfer the thought from our brain to others' brain. And he also explains the function of the chakras. So these, we read a lot about chakras in the yogic, in the when we deal with the yoga. If the etheric double is examined by clairvoyant, if you just observe the etheric double using the clairvoyant side, we can see, he says, there are seen to be situated in, a, in it at a different points. In different points, we can see the vortices in which matter is churning round and round with great rapidity. If you see using the clairvoyant side, we can see the vortices in which the matter is churning round and round with great rapidity. These vortices have a shining appearance and seem to be divided into different number of colored segments. It appears in different color segments, which are called petals. These vortices are called chakras in yogic terminology, and serve as points of contact between these chakras serve as points of contact between the physical and the astral vehicles. It acts as a serve as a contact between the physical and astral vehicles. At these points, various kinds of forces enter from the astral into the physical body. At these chakras, at these points, various kinds of forces enter from the astral into the physical body. Various kinds of forces enter from the astral body to the physical body, and the peculiar churning motion observed is due to this rapid influx forces. The churning appears because of this rapid forces entering from the astral body to the physical body. These chakras have several functions. These chakras has got several functions. One of the most important of these functions being that they serve as a bridge. These chakras have got several functions. One of the most important function is that they serve as a bridge for consciousness. The chakras serve as the bridge between the consciousness, for consciousness, their vivification. If we vivify the chakras, vivification enabling us to establish direct communication between the physical and astral plane. If we vivify the chakras, it establish a direct communication between the physical and the astral planes. When these chakras are vivified and made active, astral clairvoyance is developed. When these chakras are vivified and made active, astral clairvoyance is developed, and it becomes possible to bring down into the brain. So it makes possible to bring down into the brain clear and correct memory of all the experiences gone through on the astral plane. Then for all practical purposes, the two planes becomes as one, as part of the waking consciousness. He also explains how can we do the vivification of these chakras. The vivification of these chakras is brought about with the help of kundalini. The vivification of chakras can be brought about using the help of the kundalini. Kundalini is the force, a mysterious force, which has its seat at the base of the spine. The Kundalini has got the base. It is a mysterious force. It is there in the base of the spine and plays an important role part in the yogic practice. By going through the techniques of certain yogic practices, which should never be attempted, which should never be attempted except under the direct guidance of a competent teacher, this force is aroused and made to pass upwards. This force will get aroused with the help of the competent teacher and made to pass upwards along the Sushumna. Sushumna means it is an inner passage in the spinal column. As this Kundalini passes through the chakras, as this Kundalini passes through the chakras one after another, it vivifies them and enables the candidate to come into touch with the astral plane. But all such practices are undertaken in the last stages of the path of discipleship, which leads to enlightenment.